So in this video, I shall be taking the front bumper off, trying to remove all the rest of the resonator system and put in an eBay front splitter on. Alright YouTube, so like I said at the beginning of this video, the plan is to remove the front bumper, remove the rest of the air induction resonator system. I got as much as I could out when I did my cold air intake, which if you haven't seen, go and check that video. So there's still some bits I couldn't get out from the top, so I'm either, hopefully, because I haven't taken the bumper off before, whether I better get them out from taking the bumper off or whether I need to take them out from underneath the car, but we shall find out. And I have bought myself an eBay special splitter side skirts kit. I say a kit, it was 3 separate purchases. I haven't got the rear spats yet. I've got the side skirts and the front splitter, which is kind of 4 different bits. So you have to kind of, it's like a universal one, so you have to tailor it for your car. So I've got 2 boxes down here. I mightn't show you all of it. It's still in packets, but that's the front centre bit. There's 2 bits in there, so they go together to make obviously double the size of that. And then I've got the 2 side bits. So the 2 corner bits at the front, which will join onto the bit I just showed you. So we've got 2 of them, obviously 1 for each side. And then it's just like a big straight side skirt, but at the back, just before your rear wheel, there'll be a sort of big fin going up. So it's not going to follow the contours of the car, because if you look, it sort of curves in. But I don't know. I like, don't get me wrong, I really like the Maxton kits. Let me put that down. But I know a lot of people have them. I just wanted something a bit different. Plus, I think I bought all of this for 60 quid, and the Maxton ones to get the front, rear and side, I think it's between 400 or 500 quid. So yeah, I mean, you're going to get what you pay for. The Maxton one will fit nicely. You won't have to fiddle with it like this one, but I'm always up for a challenge. So what I'll do first, I want to get an idea of what, like a horizontal line. So if I take the bumper off, I'm not going to sort of put the front splitter pointing up or down. I want it to be sort of quite horizontal to the ground. So I'll either use a self-leveling laser, or I did look yesterday, it seems quite flat at the front underneath. So I might just put a spirit level on it and see how flat it is. At least I know if I take it off, I know which lines are horizontal and all that. That makes sense. So yeah, let's get it up in the air. Right, so the car's up in the air. And it's really hot, hence the sweat on my face. Let me just show you. So before I put the car up in the air, I put a spirit level, and as probably most people know, this is sloped slightly upwards, the underside of the sort of OEM bumper. So what I did, I stuck a couple of bits on there just so I knew what was perfectly level. So I was thinking I might have to put something along here to at least make the splitter level, if not slightly down, because you don't really want it facing up. I don't know whether it'll make any difference, to be honest. It's only a cheap bit of plastic. But I've noticed in the kit it comes with these little things which you're supposed to screw to the underside of your car so the splitter sort of doesn't face upward and actually faces down. So I've only got 2 of them, so I might end up using them. They look a bit too much of an angle, but I won't know until I've played around. So there's the 2 halves of the lower front bit. They just attach together. So what I might do is just sort of get some blocks of wood to hold it up and just see how it looks at different angles. Right, so after much fiddling around, I think this is kind of how I'm going to have it. Let me show you a few of the sort of small issues I've come across. So there we go. it sticks out quite a lot here. So it's not, it only sticks out about an inch from this bit. As you get around here, there's obviously quite a chunky bit of sticking out. Makes it look quite aggressive, I think. Because the problem that I found, if I wanted to have this further in, you end up with this bit here, kind of out there, which obviously you don't want to do because your wheel's going to hit it. So to get this kind of flush with the arch, this is how I've managed to sort of set it up. You can see the fin there, the way you can see that, well you can actually, it points inwards a bit. The problem is if I want it running parallel with the car, this bit, because you're going to have to swivel that out, it's like out here somewhere. Or you can push the whole thing in, but like I said, this bit then is out here somewhere. So that's the problem with universal splitter kits. But for 60 quid, can't really argue really. I think it looks alright. I mean, yeah, that's turned in a bit. Obviously the same on the other side, but it'll have to do. These blocks I probably won't use, they're a bit too big. I'll have to try and think of something else to use. I've got loads of leftover, so I've replaced the double glazing units in my house recently, so I've got a lot of this window trim, so I may try and stick a strip of that all the way across, just to angle the splitter off of. So yeah, that's enough for tonight, I think, or today. I'm gonna go and have a nice cold beer, I think. Alright, so it's day 2 now. I spent ages last night trying to think of various ways of doing this. From getting like a sheet of aluminium to sort of attach underneath it, or whether I should get some epoxy, and because I've got some fiberglass, and whether I just build up or just sort of lay a few layers underneath of fiberglass just to toughen it up a bit. And do I cut around the front middle bit so it sort of, so the two corner bits are all on the same level? Because at the moment I'm thinking the two corner bits are going to attach to the inside of the bumper, and then the center bit will attach, and because that overlaps it will be slightly lower than the two corner bits, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know, so but I don't want to cut it because it will just end up making a mess of it. So what I think I'm going to do is attach the corner bits. I'll probably use the self-tapping screws just so I can get it in the right place, and then I'm going to attach the center bit probably with self-tapping screws as well, and then I'm going to try and get the bumper off, and then get some proper bolts in there, maybe try and I'll probably put some tiger seal on them as well, just to make sure they're nice and secure. That's the plan at the moment. Anyway, let's get cracking. Oh, and I bought myself some new work gear, so if you see my legs disappear at any time, do not panic. Sorry, I shouldn't be allowed out on my own. So I'm trying to figure out where the center point is. What I've just done is I did I think it's called a plumb line, is it? I don't know why I'm asking you. From the center of the Honda badge, just a bit of string with a weight on the end to see where it settles. What I've also done is I undid the 3 screws underneath there, and then I've just put super glue on there because I'm never going to want to take it apart, so I might as well do that in case the screws ever drop out. So I think I've settled on where the split is going to be. Yeah, like I said before, it's not perfect, but you know, what do you expect for this kind of money? Let me just show you. So now I've kind of slid that out a little bit, so you've got a little bit of a gap between the bodywork and the splitter. So you can see it's still a bit of an angle. I'll just use these little plastic clamps just to hold it together so I don't lose where it is. Right, so time for a quick recap. What have I done? Good question. So I've tiger sealed the 2 end plates on, and I've put probably about 4 or 5 self-tapping screws in there just so it holds it nice and tight to the car, so the tiger seal obviously dries with it in the right place. So I've recently replaced a few double glazing units in my house, and the rubber seal that goes around the inside, I've decided to use some of that to create like a little lip for the centre bit to, because if you just sort of screwed it or bolted it straight on to the underside of your bumper, I think it's going to, well it will sort of slope upwards rather than sort of level or slightly down. So I've run a length of that along the edge to try and, so when the lip sits against that, it should hopefully at least make it level. I'm not quite sure whether it's thick enough, but we shall see. So let me show you. So there's the 2 end plates. I apologise if it's hard to see, it's so sunny today, and then obviously it's a dark garage. So then you can see the strip of rubber seal that I put across there. So I super glued that on. Make sure you wear some gloves, otherwise you will stick your fingers to your car. Right, so I've got to a point where I can stop for the day. Put loads of self-tapping screws all along there. I've just put some tiger seal in there, and then obviously clamp them together. Try and hopefully get them to stick together. I have ordered some those splitter tie rods type things that you see, which kind of go, sort of, you see them on some cars where they go from the splitter up to the body, up to the bumper. So I've ordered a couple of 20cm ones. Not quite sure, haven't quite decided exactly where they're going to go. I'm debating them going through this bit here where you've got the 2 separate bits, so it'll hold them nice and tight, and then maybe up to here or that way or something. So I had a quick play around to try and start getting the arch off, so I could get the bumper off. There was a little clip just there, which I pinged out. So there's one clip there, and just go around popping them out, try not to break them I suppose. So yeah, I shall continue with that. So there we go, there's the arch pinged out. So the easiest way I found to do this was to get your fingers right behind the bumper, sort of between the wheel arch and the bumper, and just push the clip out from the back rather than sort of tugging the wheel arch. Seemed to work for me anyway. So I can see 3 there. There's 3 clips. And you see it kind of slots into the bumper right on the edge there, so I just had to ping that out. So I shall go and do the other side now. So I ended up breaking one little clip for the wheel arch, which is a bit of a pain, but it's right at the bottom, so hopefully that will be alright. So I've got the bumper off, as you just saw, well, kind of away from the car. It's still being held on by something underneath, I think, and then you've got like the hoses and electrical cables and things for the lights and the washers. But I think it's off enough, so I'm ducking a bit. I think it's off enough to do what I want to do. So let me show you what's inside there. So this part of the chassis here is looking a lot better than I thought it would. There's tiny bits of rust around the edges. I might wire brush that a little bit, get some rust treatment on it and just put a bit of paint on it, but overall it still looks pretty good. Got a bit of rust on these bits here. Not much really. Maybe I'll give them do the same to those. So if we look down here, alright, I'll just try and wedge my light in there. So there's all the gubbins for the headlight washer things. And then we've got our fog lights down there. But we can see, if you go around the other side, you can see where those tack screws have been popping up. So if we want to put bolts there instead, I can get to that fine. It's kind of the same all around. See some little screws poking through down there. So if I want to put a few bolts in, I can. I haven't quite decided yet. And then where I put the rods, I was thinking up to about here somewhere. I'll be able to get in there as well. I haven't got the light in my hand anymore, so I can get to the other side of that fine to get the nut on that. So I think that's sufficient, really, to be honest. I don't need to drop it any more than that. It wasn't the nicest thing trying to pop all these out, because you just feel like you're going to snap something. But this one, it came out all right. Yeah, like I said, it was just that one little clip down here somewhere which broke. Well, you can see it poking out there. That's a bit of a pain, but there we are. So while I'm waiting for the rust converter to dry so I can paint this piece of metal, I've been having a little play around trying to make sure that these two rods are set the same length. And what I've decided to do, so I bought these from TGR Motorsports at Castle Combe to go on my slam panel. What I've actually decided to do, which I think is going to look really cool, is to have one on either end of here as well. So I've ordered some new ones for the slam panel and anywhere else I can put it in the engine bay. Oh, actually, we've got a giveaway coming in the next few weeks for some awesome TGR Motorsports products. So make sure you go and hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss out. So back to this. Yeah, I'm going to have one there where the rod's going to attach to the splitter, and then I shall have one up here where obviously the other end of the rod attaches to the car. I think that's going to look really, really cool. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm just waiting for this stuff to dry, like I said, give that a lick of paint. I've decided I'm not going to put any bolts into the bumper. I'm going to put some more tack screws. Just going to put loads of them in, might as well. But I thought I won't put bolts in because if I do decide to take it off, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, because I've got to drop the bumper again like this. And then once I've got these at the front, it should hold it nice and steady. Alright, so I've set these to the same length. What I've decided to do, and luckily I've got some hanging around, is some of the little nylon lock-in nuts. Because you don't want, especially the one on the inside of the bumper, you don't want that coming undone, because that'd be a right pain in the ass to tighten up. So I'm going to put those nylon lock-in nuts in replacement of the ones it came with. It also didn't come with any washers as well, so I'm going to try and get the biggest washer I can as well. Try and help it, try and stop it being pulled through. So quick side note, I can see what's holding the bumper on now. If I can get it to focus in there. There we go. There's a very rusty bolt in there. The whole thing's pretty rusty. If I come out a bit so you can see where it is. So I dare not undo that because it's going to break. So I presume you would come in from underneath and undo that if you want to completely take your bumper off. But yeah, the whole bit of plate looks really rusty, the bit that's attached to the bumper, so I'm going to leave that alone. So this is one of the jobs I've been dreading the most today. Not quite the most, but it's up there. So I've got to drill through both layers of the front splitter so I can bolt in the rod at the bottom. And then the one I am dreading the most is drilling through the bumper. I shouldn't do really, it's only a little hole, it can be filled in if needs be. But yeah, I've been trying to mark out the hole on either side of the splitter so it's in the same place, obviously, so it's a bit tricky. So I've done a few measurements, from, I've done like a measurement from there, from where they meet as well, and I've managed to hopefully get them in the same place. So what I'll do is I'll drill them out, and then I'll attach one end of this and see where I need to drill the next hole up here somewhere. That drill was slightly too small. So as I feared, the threaded bit isn't long enough to go through both layers if I have one of those TGR washers on. So I might have to just put one on the bumper side because that's a lot thinner. It's a bit of a pain, but oh well, what can you do? Managed to get one of those TGR washers on the outside, and managed to get a washer and a nylon locking nut on the inside as well. There's enough thread for that. Right, so it's another day again. I always seem to think, oh, these things won't take long, and then like 4 days later, although it's not been a solid 4 days, I'm exaggerating a bit. It's just I start doing something and then I sort of get sidetracked and start doing something else that I didn't think I was going to do. I've just been out and bought, where are they? 200 tech screws. So I'm going to put some more in the front. Now I've got plenty to do the sides and the back. I think this video was going to originally just be me doing the front, but I might include the sides and the back as well because I don't think they're going to be as involved. Famous last words. Because I'm not taking anything off, I'm just literally just tech screwing them on. So we shall see. It might be one video, it might be two. Right, so it looks like there's supposed to be some kind of little bolt in there. So I shall go and have a little look, see if I've got something that will fit. Because both sides have got nothing there.